Hello, I'm Zorab and this is Byther Farm, and today I've been creating a really big raised bed. So I'm here by the polytunnel trying to create the path down the side of it. We put weed suppressing membrane into the ground, tucked in with the plastic of the polytunnel, and it's been taken over and pinned down all the way along here to stop weeds growing right up against it, because if I was strimming against it that would just rip the fabric. Anyway, hopefully this will make it look neat and tidy. So I've put in some path edging along here, doing the same as I did when I was creating edges the other day. So a piece of pallet wood is used for the side, some smaller bits cut into a point, hammered into the ground, and then screws going in. But actually what I've done is I've done it double height, so two pieces of wood, one on top of each other, and then a small piece just to join them and stop them wobbling around. So having done this side, I thought if I did a second one here, I've effectively created a raised bed. Now this is 4 feet wide, it's exactly the same width as all our raised beds in the annual vegetable garden, but this is much longer. So currently it's about 24 feet long, and I'm just still trying to decide whether to make it the full length of the polytunnel or not. I think probably not, and there's a variety of reasons for that. And one of those is so that when I walk up this path next to the long border, and I want to make my way across to the end of the polytunnel, if there's a bed in the way here, that's going to become really difficult. So I think I want to leave a clear pathway there, and possibly even mulch that with wood chips, so it actually properly creates a pathway. I don't know what to do about this rowan tree. I planted it in here, I think it was 2 years ago, and it was tiny. It was about a foot high, and I don't really want to move it, certainly not at this time of year if I can help it. So maybe I'll move it when we come to winter, once it goes dormant again, but I don't think it should be quite so close to the polytunnel, because when it gets really windy there is very real risk as this gets bigger it will get whipped over and damage the cover of the polytunnel. It's a lovely tree, but I think it might be better placed actually in the hedgerow. My eventual plan with this bed is to put in metal posts in the centre of it, and then to grow either espalier trees or climbing fruit along it to form some sort of visual barrier, so that when we look from the house down towards this end of the garden, we aren't just looking at a large sheet of polythene. There's actually some greenery here too. While I've been out here working away today, I've had YouTube on my phone, and I've been listening and watching some of my friends' videos and catching up on what's going on with them. And one of those is Willow Creek Homestead, and if you aren't familiar with Trish and Jonah and the children, I'll leave a link to their channel above and in the information below. Their channel really is worth watching. It's a vlog of their everyday life, but I have learnt so much from them about life in rural Idaho. It has been really interesting. While I'm out here, I want to show you a plant that I've bought this week from a local nursery. How pretty is this? So this is a Dicentra, and I think it's a Dicentra spectabilis, but I could have that second half wrong, so I'll put the name up on the screen. But this is just delightful. Now the nursery that we went to had two different colours. It had this pink one and one that was a slightly more red. It certainly wasn't red, but it was a deeper, darker colour. I quite fancied this really pale, this pale one. Oh, it's really lovely, and it's adding a touch of maturity to this long border, which having only just made it, is looking very new. There's a lot of bare soil, but a lot of the plants that I've put in have very definitely established, and some of the bulbs that I put in are starting to grow. So I've put 15 lilies in here and a couple of hundred daffodils. Now the daffodils may or may not do something this year. I planted them very, very late for flowering this year, but hopefully they'll establish themselves, grow a bit, settle in, feed their bulbs and give us a really good display next year. And the lilies well, hopefully the lilies will flower this year. I made a planting plan for this border. The dicentra didn't feature in that plan at all, so that's okay. My planting plans are rarely absolutely adhered to, but they do give me an outline. And the other thing I've got, so she's reaching behind her, that I wasn't expecting to plant in here at all, are these little Achillea, which were given to me by Erica from Erica's Little Welsh Garden. She gave me those as a gift. She had them sent to me as very tiny little plug plants, and I've been growing them on, and now I'm acclimatising them. I'm getting ready to plant them in this border too. We're due to have really nice weather for the next 3 days here, so I'm hoping that I can spend more time pottering outside and getting things planted out. And as long as I put fleece over them or some green netting to protect them from cabbage white, which will also hopefully protect them from a bit of frost, well, they should be okay. We're in an area where we are unlikely to have a very heavy frost from now on, but it's always worth erring on the side of caution. So hopefully I will get lots of veg in and get them covered over, and then in a couple of weeks' time I'll be able to take their covers off and they should be okay for the rest of the year. We live in a very mild part of the country, and so I'm fairly secure in starting to plant things out, and today I have indeed started planting out some cabbages. Now they're in this tunnel, which doesn't actually give full protection from any frost, but it certainly helps. I'm picking out weeds as I'm talking to you. So I have got in my first 20 something cabbages. Now that does sound like a lot, it even sounds like a lot to me, but we're selling veg boxes this year. So these are a summer cabbage. They're quick growing. Hopefully it will only be a matter of weeks before we can start harvesting these. How many weeks? Well, we're yet to find out. The leeks will be harvested over the next few days. I'll chop those and get them into the freezer, and then in the centre of this tunnel I'm going to be putting calabrese, and on the far side there will be some more cabbages of a different variety. Possibly I'll put some red cabbages over there, although my thinking is these cabbages will be out quite quickly and the calabrese won't take too long, I think, which means that I could then put a completely different crop in here afterwards. So maybe what I need on that side is something else that will grow quite quickly too. What I have got is some 60-day broccoli, 60 days from sowing to harvesting, but I'm not sure how tall it gets, and I don't really want it touching the netting, because otherwise butterflies can lay their eggs through the netting, and the whole point of having the netting is to prevent cabbage white, butterflies and cabbage moths from laying their eggs and everything getting eaten by caterpillars. Over on the far side of the garden, which I'm calling the market garden, I've started making changes there in preparation for planting. So I've taken down part of the fence here, and I've curled it back round the side of here. all very temporary, as you can tell, because this area will be changing in the next few weeks as well. But we've also taken the young Australorps and Australorp crosses out of their nursery pen in the stable and popped them into the house behind me here. So they've had their first day on grass. They're looking happy and healthy, and what I'm really pleased about is that they've worked out how to go up and down the ramp without me having to show them. Okay, maybe not entirely if they've got to fly off the top of it, but they do look quite happy and settled there. Bedtime will be interesting because I'm going to have to encourage them all to go and sleep in the house because they're not used to going inside to go to sleep for the night. But I think it'll only take a couple of days, usually 2 days, and they get the hang of going to bed. And then this small area is sectioned off so that Big White can come through from his run into this bit. He doesn't need the space at all, but as long as the chickens are nibbling the grass and scratching about in it, it will continue improving the soil and keep the length of the grass down a little bit. And behind me here, this is now ready for me to, well, get planted up. Well, it's not ready really. It's ready for me to get ready to be planted up. So the area is continuing to enlarge, but what I do need to do is remove some and or all of the weeds here and get the soil in a state where we can plant in it. Mr. J has said he'll come out and trim this or mow it to get it as low as possible. Then I can get some paper and card on it, mulch over the top, and see how we go. Hello girls. I love this time of year. Everything is just starting to come into blossom. The promise, so much potential here. These are cherries, and hopefully they really all will be cherries. But there is just blossom and flowers and things springing into life all over the garden. Mr. J and I were saying over lunch just how lovely the food forest and the patron's garden are starting to look.